Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Joseph Novichkov, Senior Trading Manager with GDM. Today's outlook, we have a lot of important news. First of all, we're starting with Asian stocks outside of China and Japan. They declined on Thursday. After, of course, we saw the Federal Reserve kept interest rates unchanged, but of course signaled that the December rate hike was still on the table. Share markets in China edged slightly higher, with the key Shanghai Composite index closing up just 0.4%. In Hong Kong, the Hang Seng index ticked also slightly higher with 0.4% to a one-week low. Now, the Japan's index 225 index, however, turned positive and it added 0.2% on choppy trade, even as upbeat factory output data indicated diminishing changes for further easing from the Bank of Japan. And of course, Friday's policy meeting as of this week. Industrial production rose 1% on month in September. Official data showed early on Thursday, beating expectations for about 0.5% drop. The dollar stood near a 2.5-month high against a basket of currencies on Thursday after we saw the US Federal Reserve left the door open for a rate hike in December. When, of course, the European Central Bank is also widely expected to add to its stimulus. However, let's take a look at the yen, which actually weakened against a broadly stronger dollar, which rose to 121.12 from Wednesday's low of 120.02. The biggest focus for the yen is the Bank of Japan's policy meeting on Friday, with markets unusually split on whether the BOJ would increase its stimulus. Tracking the euro, it has fallen 3.7% since the ECB President Mario Draghi signaled the bank was ready to expand its stimulus and, of course, cut interest rates deeper into negative territory if needed. That was a week ago. As the dollar held an upper hand, the euro fell to 1.0896 on Wednesday and it last stood around 1.0924. Gold in the commodity sector ticked up on Thursday but stayed near its lowest levels in 2 weeks after the Federal Reserve hinted at a possible US rate hike in December by bolstering the dollar and, of course, reducing the appeal for non-interest paying bullion. Gold rose 0.3% to 1159.50 an ounce in late Asian trade, following a 1% slide in the previous session. The metal also fell on Wednesday to 1152. That was its lowest since October 13. In the energy sector, crude futures held on to strong gains in early Asian trading on Thursday after US Federal Reserve kept unchanged, and a weekly government report on oil stockpiles showed an inventory build that was within expectations as of yesterday. US crude futures were down 12 cents at 45.82 a barrel as US crude stocks rose last week, while gasoline and distillates inventories fell more than expected. Data from the Energy Information Administration showed late yesterday. Inventories climbed in line with traders' expectations, but the buildup was less than the 4.1 million barrel increase that was a report from industry group, the American Petroleum Institute, a day earlier. Today is in the calendar. The most important events are coming out at 12:30 GMT. That is the GDP preliminary report for US and personal consumption expenditures. That's all for today. Stay tuned for the most important of today. We'll keep you up to date as well. Thank you very much for joining us. See you next time. Bye-bye.